Hey guys, how you going? So I'm here with Remy and I just want to give you a demonstration of how to condition the clicker. So we've already talked into how this works in terms of classical conditioning and the dog learning to associate the clicker with an incoming reward so that we can be really precise with our communication during training. Now this is the process that you need to follow initially in order to be able to create the association. So all you need to do is get your pouch of food and you want to have your clicker, and obviously you want to have your dog. So you get a big handful of food to get your dog's attention, and whilst they're focusing on getting the food out of your hand, you click and then you open two fingers and let them eat. Whilst Remy's eating the food out of my fingers, out of my hands, all I'm doing when I click is I'm opening two fingers. That just gives her enough space to get her mouth in there and get a few bits of food, and then I'm closing it up again. So I click and then open and then close. And I click, open, close, click, open, close. When my handful of food is gone, I simply go into my pouch, I grab another handful, and then I continue the process. And we want to try to create as much flow as possible so that it's just a continuous loop of click, food, click, food, click, food, click, food, keeping the dog's attention on us the whole time. The other thing we want to do is try to keep our hand nice and close to the dog's nose. We don't want to take it away after each rep. We actually want the dog to be connecting with our hand and to stay focused on it. Now, if they try to scratch or if they try to bite your hand to open it, that's when we take the food away and we say no. So we're using a process there called negative punishment. We're taking away something the dog wants in response to a behavior that we don't want to continue. So if they scratch your hand to open it, you say no and you pull the food away and then you try again. If they scratch it again, you say no, you pull your hand away and then you try again. If they put their nose on your hand, on the next rep, then you go click and you open two fingers. So you're very clearly indicating to the dog that scratching or biting my hand will never lead to success. Sticking your nose on my hand and you can push into it a little bit but maintain contact, that's what's going to lead you to success. The reason why we want to do that is because later on we're going to be teaching you about something called luring. And luring refers to the dog maintaining contact with your hand while we move the hand around to manipulate their position, so we can start to teach them positions. Okay. But today we're just creating the association between the click sound and the incoming reward. So it looks like this. So I've got a handful of food, show it to your dog, okay? She's focusing on the hand, click, open up my two fingers, give her some food, and then close my fingers back up again. She's still focused on the hands, click, open, close, click, open, close, click, open, close, click, open, close. Now Remy's done this a few times before, so she's got a pretty good idea of what we're doing. Click, open, close, click, open, close, click, open, close, click, open, close. And notice how she's really pushing into my hand because she knows that if she pushes into my hand it's going to lead to me clicking, but she's not biting and she's not scratching because we've done some work around that. Click, close, click, food, close, click, food, close, click, food, close. And so over lots of repetitions, the dog will start to learn to associate the click with the incoming food. And when we've created the really strong association for the clicker, then we can start using it in training as a communication tool. Now, a good way to test if you've created a good conditioned response to the clicker is one day when your dog's paying no attention to you, very discreetly go and grab the clicker from wherever it is and then make sure you're somewhere within earshot and then just click it once. If your dog immediately turns up at your feet because they're expecting a reward, then you've done a good job when you're ready to start using the clicker in training. One last thing with this, guys, is that we don't want to put any obedience into this while we're just conditioning the clicker, okay? This exercise has to be fun for the dog. We don't want to create any frustration by telling the dog to sit down or do any commands, okay? That's going to come later. And if we do a really good job with associating the click with the food, then it's going to make those things much easier and that training process a lot more fluid, because then we have a really strong communication marker to indicate to the dog when they've done the correct behavior. So don't tell them to sit, no commands in this activity. It's purely just associating the click with the food. Food, click, food, click, food, click, food, click, food, and so on and so forth. Now it's important to remember every dog is different. Some dogs will pick this up really quick, and they'll have a pretty strong conditioned response even after your first round of doing this. Some dogs might take 2 or 3 days. Some dogs might take a couple of weeks. The important thing is that you're consistent, and like I said earlier, if you use their daily rations for this exercise and then this becomes the only way they eat, that then starts to create a lot more value in this engagement, and that's also going to then have a higher reinforcement value for them when we start to use this during training for specific behaviors.